Good morning, Facebook.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook. Wake up. Here we are today. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning. My name is Valerie Lyons, and I'm a career healer. I'm a power networker. I'm an author, and I'm blessed, and I'm grateful, and I'm happy to see you all this morning. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful conversation. I'm declaring that. We're going to have a wonderful conversation. And I'm really, really excited to be a part of this great, great community. I love the work that's being done here, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So welcome, everybody.
Peace and blessing, Miss Valerie,
Oh,
and my Wolf family. How you doing, babies?
yes, yes, yes. Peace and blessings to you, Teresa, and all who are present. It's really great to be here. I'm really excited and looking forward to the conversation. So welcome everybody again to our conversation today on networking as a means of self.
Sorry, Valerie, I muted you by mistake.
All right, I'm back. Yes, I'm grateful to be here and I can't wait to get started. I know people are coming in to Facebook and folks are jumping on Zoom. So we're gonna get started shortly, and welcome again. It's a great day.
Good morning, Valerie. Good morning to you. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing wonderful. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Valerie. Good morning.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing, we're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Good morning, everybody. So grateful to be here and excited about this presentation. The name of the presentation is Networking as a Means of Self-Care. And if you have a pen or a pad, that would be great. You might want to jot some things down. I love this slide. I love this quote. And I use it as a way of informing my decisions in my life. Allow your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health to lead you. It really makes a difference to put your mental health, spiritual health, and physical health first, because that really helps you make certain choices, certain decisions, what to say yes to, what to say maybe to, what to say no to. And I really appreciate this, and I hope that you can use this in your life as you move through your life and your journey. Next slide, please. We all have a lot going on in our lives. I want you to, if you can put in the chat, you don't have to say which one, but if you have children, if you have a child or children, if you have an elder loved one or another other family member that you're caring for, if you have mental health concerns for yourself or others, if you have financial concerns, I want you to put in the chat if any of this resonates with you, you identified with this. Are you serving others, clients, or other stakeholders? Do you have concerns about housing or general concerns about the state of the country? Any of those concerns, can people identify, and do you have any of those concerns going on in your life? You can put that in the chat if you will. I don't know whether anyone wants to, and on Facebook, if you want to put that in the comments section. I don't know whether anyone wants to share anything that may be burning issue for you. But the reason that I asked this question, yes, you can identify with a few of them. I see you, LaShonda, yeah. Most of us can identify with at least one. The reason I asked this question is because most of us are dealing with at least one. Someone said, yes, all of the above. And this is, I wanted to presence ourselves to what we're managing, what we're dealing with, because our self-care is paramount in order for us to manage all of what's going on in our lives. It makes a difference for us to take time for ourselves and care for ourselves. And I want to go to the next slide, please. So I want to ask this question. How can networking help to ensure our self-care? How can networking help to ensure our self-care? And I want to take that slide down because I would love to see you. Yes. So how can networking help to ensure our self-care? If we can hear from someone to share what their thoughts are about that.
Val, this is LaShonda. Networking, I think, helps a lot. It helps with you to resonate with other individuals and see what they're going through and know that you're not alone in your process of whatever you're dealing with. So networking helps for anyone to help establish where you are sometimes when you network with other individuals. Exactly. Thanks, LaShonda. It just helps us to connect and to know that we're not alone, right? And to, get support. And Teresa, I see your hand raised. And then Adam.
Meeting you and different classes and stuff. Being around you and others that I've been around has changed, my perspective about stuff. So I never looked at networking the way that, you were saying it, but I can't say that, but being a part of WU is part of networking. So it has really changed, my dynamics and how I'm dealing with stuff. And the teaching and stuff that I've gotten has really changed, my life. And I've done the work, not just WU, but I've included, I've done the work also. And I'm complete.
Thank you, Teresa. It's really in what you mentioned about changing perspectives. When we're networking and connecting with other people, we hear different points of view, different worldviews, and it really helps to shape and to expand our perspective. So thanks so much, Teresa. And I'm happy to hear that this community has made the difference to you and many, many others. And Adam?
I just want to say that networking helps you build character from within, and it teaches you how to be selfless, and it also teaches you how to, by yourself all the time.
Missed some of what you said, but one of the things that you said that I thought was extremely powerful is that it teaches you to be selfless.
Yes. And I also said that you're able to, learn what somebody else is going through versus you talking about yourself all the time.
Exactly. And you know what, Adam, that's so important because a lot of times when we're networking or people have a perspective about networking as if it's a one-way communication, like I'm communicating to you what my needs are. When in fact, it's two-way and you have an opportunity to listen to what other people need. It's mutually beneficial. So thank you for that, Adam.
You're welcome.
And then Catherine also mentioned accountability, which is, listen, I do not like accountability one bit, but it works. So I love it. I don't like it, but I love it because I know it works. So networking also has us to be accountable. So thank you so much, everybody, for sharing.
So Valerie, before you move on, just want to check in with Ruby Frazier. You're not muted, and I'm wondering if you wanted to speak. Is that why you're not muted? And if so, let me know, and I can get you up here. And Valencia, I think you had your hand raised and you put it down. Do you want to share?
I was basically going to say networking helps with having people get to know you in conjunction to what was already said. And also it helps people to feel connected. So it gives you a greater connection to people.
Yes. Hey there, Ruby Frazier. Yes. Ruby and I met many years ago in a transformational program called Landmark. And that network of support and community has lasted over the years. So networking is powerful. Thank you, Ruby. Okay. I think we can go to the next slide.
All righty.
Networking starts with you. Networking starts with you. So what does that mean for you when you think about the idea of networking starting with you? What shows up for you? And you can take the slide off. We can look. Yeah. Networking starts with you. What does that mean for you?
What it means for me is it means what I can do to improve on myself.
So thinking about the ways that you can improve yourself.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so networking, it's interesting because as we network with others and we learn from others and we gain different perspectives, we also learn things that we can take on for ourselves, new learnings, new ways of being. Yes, I get you, Adam. Anyone else?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
For me, networking is recognizing what your needs are.
Networking, well, let's say, yes, it's recognizing what your needs are, and it really helps to recognize what your needs are. Because if you're clear on what your needs are, you can then powerfully make requests. You can make requests. Now, sometimes we don't really always know what our needs are, but the interesting thing about what you said is through networking, sometimes we hear about a need that we didn't know we had. Just by talking to people and listening to people, listening to how other people live their lives, we recognize, I didn't even know that wasn't missing in my life. And I'm learning from other people a need that I didn't know I had. So definitely, I get that. I get that. Anybody else want to share how networking starts with you?
In the chat, Rashonda says it's a way to help others. And Catherine Sweetness says tapping into ourself for known gifts and talents.
Yes. Networking is about tapping into ourself and our known gifts and talents, and being clear about our known gifts and talents has us powerfully networked. So one of the things that also, everything that everyone shared is great. And one of the things that, how networking starts with you may show up is knowing that you're a gift, knowing that you're a contribution. If I have it, which I do, and I hope we all do, if I have it that I'm a contribution, then I don't have anything about imposing. You know, some people have a thing about, I don't want to bother people, right? If I have it that I'm a contribution, meaning I give value, I have value, I'm going to offer, I'm going to give to others as much as I'm listening for an opportunity or a lead or a contact or support. I'm also knowing that I'm a contribution and I will contribute to others. So it starts with how you see yourself, right? It also starts with how you see the world. Do you see us as being connected? In the chat or on Facebook, in the comments, do you really get that we are all connected, right? So if you get that we're all connected, then once again, it's not an imposition to make a request or to ask for help, because we're all connected. That's what we're here. I believe that we're here to support each other. How about that? That's what I believe it. I don't believe it in a cocky or grandiose way or presumptuous way. I just happen to believe we're on the planet to support each other and to help each other. So when I ask for something, I never see it as an imposition, because I know that if I have something, I'm going to offer it. Now, do I think that everybody is of that mindset? No, but that doesn't have anything to do about how I look at the world and how I roll, how I perceive, right, the world. So yes, right? Do I see the world, or do I see opportunities as, you know, through a lens of abundance? Or do I see the world or opportunities through a lens of scarcity? How many people see the world through the lens of abundance, that everything and anything is possible, right? That's how I see the world. So I see that there's all sorts of opportunities, all sorts of interesting people to meet, you know, with many, many gifts and talents, right? So it starts with you. Does anyone want to share anything before I go to the next slide? Okay.
Somebody has their hands up, and not much has been added into the chat.
Okay.
I would like to share. Can you just repeat that statement again so I can make sure that I'm answering it correctly?
Sure. So I was saying networking starts with you, and how does that show up for you? How does that resonate with you? How does networking start with you?
Well, based on the conversation, like just taking care of myself and checking in with myself as part of network. Because sometimes I could get so busy that I forget about me. Like today, I was supposed to take a trip somewhere, and then I realized you have responsibility. You just cannot just go do what you want to do, because you're accountable. And so I know some people might be disappointed because of my decision, but you know, I just can't just leave and do what I want to do now because I have responsibility. So I was okay with it, you know, but I, you know, I didn't just think about it, you know, I'm just so you just get up and go like, oh, wait a minute, you can't do that, you know, because you have responsibility to take care of today. So, you know, I'm okay with it, but I had to remind myself that your whole life, you know, your lifestyle has changed. And so you're doing something different. So you have to, you know, do it in a different way now. So, you know, that was like a good point for me where I did not, you know, get upset or even, you know, like, oh, you know, oh, they're going to say whatever. No, I do what's good for me right now. That's the point. And I'm complete.
All right, Teresa. So I get what you're saying in terms of really being clear on your priorities and what's most important. You can still care for others and be of service. And it's important for us to also be clear as to what's most important for us in the moment. And sometimes putting our needs first or prioritizing our needs are important for us to do so that we know how we can then engage with other people. So thank you for that. Yes. Adam shared, going to a gym or a yoga studio is a form of networking for sure. It sure is. Talk about networking in terms of your own self-care, and you know, you meet people. You meet people in these various, in your gym and at the yoga studios, an opportunity to meet with like-minded people, which is another really powerful thing about networking, because it broadens your network, your community. And, you know, we vibe and thrive by surrounding ourselves with people who have similar interests, similar values. So yes, definitely. Yes, yes, yes.
Valerie, I can read what Kaisha put in here. She says, we have to dig deep down within ourselves to be able to network with others to find resources that we need.
Yeah, it really it's important. This is why it's important for us to take time to really be with ourselves, to self-assess, to explore who we are and what we want, because we get so many messages from the world around what we should be doing, who we should be with, how we should do it, how we should live our lives. There's a lot of stuff coming at us. So it's really important for us to be able to step back and to reflect and to really assess what do we want? Who are we? Right? And that we constantly are evolving. So who I am and what I wanted 3 years ago is totally different from who I am and what I want now. I had an amazing opportunity to go to Jamaica on this amazing trip. And I had it that 3 to 5 years. I worked for Hunter College full-time. And I had my business, right, which is also feeling like full-time. And I had it that 3 to 5 years, I was gonna leave Hunter College. 3 to 5 was my plan. I went to Jamaica, it's now 3. It's a 3-year plan. I'm not fooling around, but things change. And we wanna allow for that to show up for us. We don't wanna be too fixed about what we want. We want to be clear, but we don't want to be attached, because we know that it can change over time. Yes. Okay, so I think we can move on unless anyone has anything else to share.
Yeah, before we do, I have Gina. Gina has been helping me in the Facebook world. So she has a comment from one of the people there. So Gina.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So Valerie, D.Y. Forrester on Facebook shares, networking is an opportunity to expose yourself, be vulnerable, and allow others to enter into a reciprocal relationship.
Some of us don't want to be vulnerable. But you know what? That's the only way that thank you for that share. That's the only way that people can know who we really are, is to be vulnerable, let people in, allow people to bless us, allow people to support us. You know, I'm reading, I know many of you may have read Ask and It Will Be Given. That book is powerful. Esther and Jerry Hicks. Universe, okay, so I just gotta say this because it's so powerful, because it ties directly to what you just shared from the person on Facebook. You ask, you make the request and you ask. Universe is ready to support us. Universe is like, I'm down with your well-being. I hear you. The third step is allowing, right? Receiving with no resistance, no fear, no frustration, allowing, and that's how you manifest. But it's being vulnerable enough to make the request and being courageous enough to step back and allow. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Any other comments or questions?
I see, I'm not sure where you last left off. My apologies, my attention went someplace else, but Catherine says, allow the process. And Aaliyah says, networking can also be a way for one to discover if this is really what you want to study or work.
Yeah, networking, you know, talking to people who are doing something that you think you want to do. You haven't done it yet. You network with people that are doing it, doing that kind of, I'm going to say job, for instance. You network with them prior to saying, yes, yes, I'm doing it, because you get a sense as to whether this is something that you really want. You get a clearer understanding talking to somebody who's done it, who's feet on the ground. Now, mind you, you're listening, and you might want to talk to more than one person just so you can get a well-rounded idea of it. But networking does give you a picture of the type of career or a job that you want, and gives you a sense of it before you enter or make that decision. So thank you so much. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And let me tell you something. People love talking about themselves, so don't fear reaching out to folk and asking them what they do. They love, folks take it as a high compliment. Most people take it as a high compliment. Yes. So anything else that we can, I see. All right. I guess we can go to the next slide.
Sorry, yes, that's what I was trying to unmute to say.
Okay.
Things happening. Well, wait, did I see this? Aaliyah also added, I'm sorry, I didn't see this. Exactly, because theory and practice can be totally different.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You know, one last thing about networking, starting with you, that I wanted to mention. The importance of leaving the past in the past. I wanted to mention that, right? So some of us may have had a negative experience with networking or reaching out to people. Some of us might have been disappointed or gotten hurt through reaching out or connecting with people. You felt let down. One of the things you really want to do is give that up and leave that in the past, because that doesn't necessarily inform what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen now. So make sure that as we are going through our lives, that to the extent possible, every extent possible, that we're able to put stuff, just let the past stay in the past, so we can create wonderful, wonderful opportunities for the future. So I did want to mention that. Okay, I think we can go to our next slide, which is power networking. So I mentioned when I introduced myself that I'm an author, and I wrote a book called Power Networking from the Inside Out, where your career and your well-being meet, because I'm also a career healer and a women empowerment coach. And this is a definition that I created, right? And it reads, power networking is grounded in intention and a commitment to serve. It is the ability to build mutually beneficial relationships with individuals and or groups with the goal of enriching the personal and professional lives of others while achieving one's own goal or dream. Power networking is an expression of love, community, and gratitude. It manifests itself as a co-created miracle for yourself and others, right? So this is my definition. I call it power networking because I believe it takes networking to a whole nother level, right? So I just wanted to ask, is there anything in this definition that stands out for you, or anything in this definition that resonates with you?
I'd have to say the grounding and the intention and the commitment to serve, because for me, I have to be intent on what I'm doing, but at the same time, I have to realize that I serve a lot of individuals or going through the process of serving them. So I think that really is speaks a lot when you're intentional about what you do.
Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing that. Mm-hmm.
For me, power networking is an expression of love, community, and gratitude. That stands out for me. Just in the field that I do, with financial services, and this with our people just not having, the correct financial literacy. So I feel that, just wanting to give them, that knowledge, just for them and for their future families to come. And just having my them, as far as them becoming a client or even just listening, that gratitude and the gratitude in return. Because I definitely have a few people telling me, that I saved their life, with the knowledge that I was able to provide to them and them able to apply the principles. So that stood out for me.
That's really great. You're doing some powerful work, that's for sure. And people feel it. When you're giving, whatever you're giving with love and gratitude and a commitment to serve, people feel that. And that enhances anything and everything that we do. So good for you. You're doing some great work. Anybody else? Sure.
I don't know whose voice that was. So I'll add this from the chat. LaShonda says, can I say ouch to letting go of the past? I need to work on that one.
That's not an easy one, LaShonda. And you certainly can say ouch, because it's not an easy one, but it's a liberating thing to do. It's liberating for you. It's it lifts a burden to do that. But it does take work, and it also depends upon what that thing is that you experienced. It's ongoing. It's ongoing work. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. I don't know if anyone else had anything to share about the definition. If not, we can move on. So wanted to really take a look at various self-care strategies and get a sense from you as to what you're doing or how you're managing your self-care when it comes to these various domain areas that we're going to talk about right now. So when we talk about physical self-care, what action can you take to manage your physical self-care? What are some examples of physical self-care? How does that show up for you in your life? Or what could you do differently if you're not doing anything with your physical self-care? Okay, so people are putting in the chat.
Yeah, and also I saw Adam take himself off of mute before regarding at the end of your last question, as well as Valencia.
Okay. Do you want to
just take?
No, that
I
was my mistake. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, it was by mistake. I apologize.
Oh, okay. So in the chat, self-care, Catherine Sweetness says, soak my feet.
Yes.
Valencia says, watching food intake. LaShonda says, 10-minute workouts. Catherine Sweetness says, fasting, breathing. And Inez says, smudging, fasting, meditation, journaling. And Catherine Sweetness says, keeping nice thoughts of others.
Yes. Great. So that's physical self-care, taking care of your body in a healthy way. People talked about that. Sleep, also wanted to add that. I know I've had some issues during this pandemic season with sleep. I don't know if anyone else has. And someone made some reference to managing food intake. Portion control is another area that I'm working on diligently. So yeah, all of that, right? And I hope that the people, those who put those self-care strategies in the chat, I hope those are things that you are taking on as well, right? So great, okay. So emotional self-care. What are some examples of emotional self-care? How do you manage your emotions in a way that translates into self-care?
Therapy.
Valerie, I'm sorry, this is Gina.
Hey,
We
Gina.
have a couple of physical self-care shares from Facebook while they're thinking of their emotional self-care. We have D.Y. Forrester takes walks in the park, taking walks in the park and enjoying nature. Jem McBean L says, I get monthly massages and sauna. And D.Y. Forrester also gets massages as part of their physical self-care.
That's wonderful. You got me massaging my neck right now. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. And I live in Harlem and walk to Central Park regularly. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And there's a lot of people putting stuff into therapy, reaching out to my mentors to hear my thoughts. Yeah, it's really, really great. Okay, wonderful.
In the chat, Valerie, we have Roseanne Bauman saying eating healthy, exercising, walks in the park. Catherine Sweetness says eating foods that are alive. Renee Fletcher says going to the doctor. Adam says taking living moringa and black seed bitters along with taking my sea moss gel to stay present and healing my body every day. Catherine Sweetness says self-taught.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is a combination of the physical self-care and the emotional self-care. Glad people shared therapy because that's powerful too. Therapy, coaching. What about cognitive self-care? And I see you, Renee Fletcher, you mentioned reading. Certainly in terms of cognitive self-care, that is another example of cognitive self-care. What other examples are there for cognitive self-care?
LaShonda says thinking before I speak, working on emotional intelligence. I think that will fit into that category, right?
It could, yeah, or emotional self-care either. Right.
Okay, learning. Roseanne Bowman says learning always open to learn.
Hey there, Rose. I see Adam also added. Right. So again, you know, there's
one moment. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I just want to say what Adam says so that Facebook can know what Adam says. So Adam says playing games like solitaire is a cognitive self-care. Kayusha, she says brain games and reading. And Ruby Fraser says writing.
Yeah. And you know,
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. We also have comments in Facebook. You're getting a lot of activity when you ask about the self-care people want to.
Well, thank you, Facebook folks.
Yes, Facebook is loving you.
Thank you.
So Jem McBean L says using essential oils for cognitive self-care, using essential oils daily. My favorite oil is called Joy, which is great for emotional upliftment. So that's a Young Living blend.
That's wonderful.
And yes, and D.Y. Forrester says jigsaw puzzles for cognitive self-care.
That's really great. Well, I just lifted up my lavender when you mentioned that. This really makes a difference too. I keep it right near my laptop. My lavender is right here. And I also wanted to mention, I don't know whether I indicated that, you know, I mentioned I'm a career healer, a women's empowerment coach, and I work with the women in the 50+ age range, 50+ crew. And that cognitive as we age, that's no joke. Keeping that brain going, functioning, and doing those jigsaw puzzles, exercises, writing, reading, really makes a difference. So thank you all for sharing. All right. So there's a couple of others I want to go through. Thank you so much, Facebook. And for those on Zoom, it's wonderful feedback. What about social self-care? What are some examples of social self-care?
Valerie, while they're thinking, we had a share in Facebook for emotional self-care, but it looks like it could also fit social self-care.
Okay.
Yeah, D.Y. Forrester said, surround yourself with people who are good listeners and can offer some support.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, that could also fall into the category of emotional. So who we surround ourselves with is such an important, it's just important for us to really do intentionally, right? So surrounding ourselves with people who are loving, caring, and supportive. Yes, definitely. Staying away from toxic people, someone put in the chat. Yeah, so spending time, right? Spending time with with family, friends, coworkers. It's interesting because as we are re-entering the world, it's still a process, right? And some of us are still feeling some kind of a way about really engaging with others. That was certainly a missing. That social self-care was a missing in March 2020, or I should say the year 2020. It was a missing. So really engaging with others makes a difference.
So Ruby is off mute again. I don't know if that was the comment preparation.
I was gonna say, Friday night, my family and I, we had family music dance. So we had music, arts and dancing. And my
Nice.
son was over with his kid, his little, my grandson. And I wanted to post on Facebook so badly, but it wouldn't go through. He had his guitar and he was playing it, had no strings on it, but you would thought he was playing it for real. He was such a maniac with it. And he has such fun with him. I was like, Black men do love their sons and do play. So it was
That's
amazing.
beautiful.
He had so much fun. So I videotaped it, but I was trying to post it. So I'll find someone to get me to help post it on Facebook. It was so hilarious the way they was just getting around and playing the guitar and having fun and music and food.
That's really great. Thank you for sharing that. It sounds like a lot of fun. Love to see the video. Yeah.
Yes, what I would like to say is another form of self-care is joining a book club, investment club, and going to the gym or yoga studio, like I mentioned earlier.
That's great. Yep, joining different clubs. Yeah, that's really great. That is.
Aisha, I'm sorry.
Kaisha.
Aisha says, going to events and parties. My mother is in the 60s club and she goes out weekly with her friends in the same age group.
Good for her.
Teresa has her hand raised.
Okay, Teresa.
And I didn't realize how much I missed it until I was with them. And so I've been, making it my business, to do that often. I was supposed to go this week, but I had to do something else. But just going in excitement, so I found myself calling, what y'all doing today? What y'all doing today? So, I realized by me, with the COVID thing, being the isolation is that I have to get my mindset to get back out, not stay in the house because, I was very comfortable in the house, but being out makes a big difference for me. Like I go to a garden, that's another one of my social self-care and mental everything all together. I have a garden. And so just the fact that I'm growing my own vegetables is just so amazing. It looks amazing. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. And I've been eating them too, and they taste so good.
That's good. That's good. Getting out. Yeah, you can get used to isolating sometimes, and it's great to get out and be with others. You get rejuvenated oftentimes.
Tina, what you got?
We got another share from Facebook. We have D.Y. Forrester said, engaging on Zoom and meeting new people or being reunited with family via social media to stay connected.
Yeah, our family Zoom call is today that we started in the beginning of the pandemic, and we were meeting weekly. Now we're every other week, but it's been consistent. And it's been beautiful because some of us are living all over the world and we get together. So that's a great thing.
LaShonda?
Okay, I'm not doing my video today, you guys. It's early in the morning. I'm an hour behind you guys. So
Okay.
I just like to say that my great grandmother used to do something in her 90s, up until she was like in her 90s, until she passed away. And she always was always active. She had little dance clubs that she would be in. And then my great aunt, who is still, they're living today, she's in her 70s. She does the same exact thing. And I kept trying to figure out, how do they stay, this long in this world? And it's because they're always active. And they're always around different people, and they're always around like-minded people. And so I always ask them, like, you're still up and you're moving around. You're doing real good. They're out dancing with me. And I'm like, I'm ready to sit down and they're still dancing. I'm going, what's going on? And she's like, no, we eat right. We don't eat all this, bad foods. And, we go and we do different things. And she said, we always keep our mind clear. And I could never understand how they do that. But now I get it as I'm getting older. My great uncle, he's in his 70s, and I talk with him, very inspirational. And I was just going like, I said, every time I talk to you, I get really inspired. He said, because he goes, I don't let stuff get to me. He goes, this world it'll eat you up if you just let it get, if it gets to you. But you always have to be around like-minded people. He said, but you also have to create boundaries to where you don't get into all the mess that's going on in the world. So I'm learning to do that. But yes, my great grandmother taught me that, up until her 90s, she's always stayed active, but she creates boundaries too.
Great lessons, great life lessons. That's wonderful. My oldest friend is Mrs. Haywood. She's 91. Yeah, and she's very active. So that's great. All right. So let's see. All right. All right. So that we talked about social self-care. So financial self-care. What are some examples around that? Financial self-care.
Setting financial goals in financial journals, such as developing a budget on what you're gonna buy and what you're trying to avoid as far as temptations.
Right, really tracking your spending and being intentional about your spending. And let me just share, during this pandemic, I had an opportunity to really be intentional and look at what I have and what I don't need and tracking. So thank you for that, Adam. And one other example?
You're welcome.
I did see a hand up. I think it was Valencia. I might be wrong.
Yes. Paying yourself first. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Tithing, if people, believe in that.
Great examples.
Yeah. Those are my two so far. Just paying yourself first, definitely tithing, having a financial plan, seeing where, what you have coming in, what you have going out as far as, expenses and what you're spending, just being mindful what you're spending your money on.
Yes, and Gina, thank you so much for that. And I know Gina had someone sharing from Facebook.
Yes.
Gina.
Okay, DY Forrester shared, sticking to a budget to not overspend so you're not stressed.
Yeah, budgeting. Just, again, being intentional about your money, being clear about what you have and what you need, and tracking, definitely.
And LaShonda, she's mirroring what you all are saying about tracking. She also says investments for future. I don't know if I heard that come up. Abimbola says preparing for your future, investing in savings. There you go. And Catherine Sweetness says, when I'm generous with me, I'm generous with you. Budget, budget, budget.
Great. So I hope that, like, as we're sharing these different strategies, that we can think about what we're doing and what we might want to take on, because people are giving some amazing suggestions, and I'm listening for myself as well.
Teresa's hand is up.
Teresa?
One of the things that I've been learning in my financial classes is that preparing for the future, even like with funeral services, like a lot of people don't prepare for stuff like that. I remember Miss Veronica, was doing a thing about being prepared, but also it's like writing down things which you would like to do and making a plan to do it, like make it be part of your plan. Like if you want to have a vacation, and put a budget for vacation. And I never thought about those things until I started being around a lot of people prepared. And even myself recently, it's like I was going to go to the store. I wanted to buy like a McDonald's coffee or some kind of McDonald's coffee, right? And so it is funny because I was like, I got to send my phone. I was like, oh, heck no, I'm not sending my phone. So I went in the kitchen and I wanted some kind of fries or something. So I had some fries in my freezer, and I took some almond milk and some coffee and some cinnamon and a little bit of raw sugar. and I had a wonderful iced coffee and ice. And so if sometime instead of, like dealing with your craving or whatever that you're looking for, just take time and think. And so by me going in the kitchen, I was able to have me I made enough where I can have 2 cups of iced coffee for 2 days that I made myself, and I didn't have to spend a dime because it was already in my house. So sometimes you might have some of the stuff that you might want and desire right in your home. So just think about it. Go search around and see. You might have just what you need in your home, and so I'm complete.
Thank you so much. Reminds me of how I now go shopping in my closet. Yeah, thank you. I took that on.
Go ahead,
We
Gina.
have some more shares in Facebook.
Okay.
So Jem McBean Else shared, consulting with a financial advisor who created a plan for getting my finances in order. Emergency fund, a short-term fund, and a retirement fund. And Jem also supports a ministry that works with the homeless and women in prison.
Really, really great. We're going to talk a little bit about our support system, but what was just shared was the power of identifying people who may have an area of expertise in some of these areas that can also provide us with support. So certainly the financial planner comes to mind, as you shared, as someone who we might want to engage to assist us in managing our finances, because some of us might be stronger in that area than others. So I think one of the things we want to also remember when it comes to the idea of networking is that we don't have to do life alone. And we can't be an expert in every area. We're the expert in our lives, right? Which means that we know what we may have strengths and limitations in, right? And we might need to reach out to others who can support us so that we can live powerfully. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? So Valencia Noel actually says, she says she's a financial planner. So in this conversation, y'all can check out Valencia.
All right, Valencia.
And
networking.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Ruby, did you want to share?
Oh, yes. I was saying there are 2 things that I do to save money. One is I would take $1, and if something costs say 20 cents, $1.20, and instead of giving 20 cents, I would give them $2, and I take the 80 cents and I put it away. So you'll be surprised how quickly taking change will add up. And the other thing that I do is I would take, say, if I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts, instead of paying in cash, I would get a gift card for maybe $15. And once that gift card is up, that's my Dunkin' Donuts fee. So whatever you want to, or McDonald's or whatever, you just, since McDonald's, I have a bad throat, sorry. Since McDonald's don't have cards, what you could do is section off a certain amount that you would spend on McDonald's or wherever your fast foods are. And once that money is over, you don't spend no more money in that. So those things help save a lot of money, and you just discipline yourself around the amount. And I like the idea of the other lady, the share, when instead of going and spending for the coffee, just make your own. And you can make that as part of your self-care. That when you want to make something, you create those ingredients, and maybe on a certain night, that's your cook night. And you have all the ingredients that you want for that night, and you just have family or whoever or you can have a video share. Let's cook tonight together and create a video Zoom, and everybody cooking at the same time and having fun. So that could be something that you do together.
That sounds great. Thank you, Ruby. Thanks for all of those suggestions. When you talked about the card, which is a way that you can really work toward restricting the amount of money you spend on a particular item, it's all inside of budgeting. And some of us are disciplined enough to say, I'm going to spend X amount for my recreation and X amount for dinner and stuff like that. And others, you're getting a card where there's a limit, and once you hit that limit, that's it. That works too. right? So yeah, looking at ways that we can save money and not spend, looking at things that we have at our disposal that's accessible, that we can make. I know yesterday I went to get some, there was a vegan store that just opened, and I got this celery kind of drink. I had it in my mind, I wanted to start drinking more drinks with celery and apple, and it was really good. But check it out. On my way back home, I went to the store. I brought me some celery, some apple, some ginger. I'm gonna hook that thing up today because I can do that, right? So this is really a great conversation. All right, all righty. And I see that Valencia Noel, who's a financial planner, put her contact information in the chat for those who are interested.
Yes, and it is 7:57. I do want to bring attention to that.
Okay, how much? I thought we had 90 minutes, no?
We do.
Okay,
Some people might be leaving early, so I just want.
Oh, okay. So those who have to leave, let me go to the next slide. I just want to see if I finish this particular segment.
Okay, before you do that, I do want to say that Valerie's contact information I dropped in the chat about 5-10 minutes ago, so you can catch that there, and that will also be available for replay on Facebook.
Yes, thank you. For those who do have to leave, I'm so happy that you were able to stop in. If you Google me, you'll find me, Valerie Lyons. You'll find me. Thank you so much for those who were here and had to leave. The last self-care strategy that I wanted to touch on is spiritual self-care, right? Spiritual self-care, and maybe to get a couple of examples about that, spiritual self-care.
I hop on a prayer group every day from Monday to Friday. I do Bible study. I read books. One in particular is called His Destiny, Her Purpose. So that's what I do. Just working like reflection on myself of who I am and how I could be of service of any type of way, not just do financial help of anything. Looking through God's eyes and how to be accountable for myself and others.
It's wonderful. Prayer line every day, huh? Wow, that's some powerful support right there. Thank you.
Teresa?
If I didn't have a spiritual support, I don't know where I would be. If you ain't got it, baby girls, baby guys, y'all better get something. Cause I don't know how you make it without it, because it's just too much that we have to, deal with on a daily basis not to have your spiritual support, and it's like before, I subscribe to one way of thinking, spiritually. But now since I just started looking at other people and how we are so similar, I'm just, I'm learning so much new things. Like I didn't know about the African spiritual part of it. I didn't, just dealing with there's a young lady who is a Buddhist that really is so powerful, such a powerful companion for me, and understand her spiritual things. So it's like by me open up my mind, it just shows me different ways of how you could spiritually connect. One person taught me like being on Wu, I learned about meditation. I never knew about meditation the way that we do meditation here. So I have learned so many ways of spiritual things, and it has helped me. It has healed my body, healed my mind, my spirit, and I'm just so grateful. And I'm loving your class this morning. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you, Ms. Valerie.
Sure. Thank you, Fonny. Thank you for sharing. And you're definitely grounded in your spirituality, clearly, and open to learn from others, which is wonderful.
LaShonda?
I just have to say, it's just, I call it a zone. It's where there's times when you just have to, when everything around you is just getting real crazy, you just got to sit and be still and just get in the zone. My grandmother used to tell me that all the time. She said, baby, just sit still. Just sit still. You just sit still and just, nobody else is up. You get up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and you just sit still. I took a day, everything was going crazy and I didn't know what was going on around me and just had this vibe. And I was like, something's going on. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I just took a day off work. I was like, I'm not coming in. Boss lady was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just not coming in. And it was a zone. I turned phones off. I turned everything off, anything electronic, it was there. And I just sat and I was still. And I tell you, that was the best thing ever. It wasn't like a meditation. It's more just like a feeling where you are. and kind of toning into where you are, channeling into feelings, and just being still. And you just kind of just sit there for about an hour. I just sat there. I didn't do anything. And that was the most liberating thing I could ever tell you to do. I really don't do it very often. I probably should do it at least once a month, but it was the best thing ever because I knew just everything was coming at me pretty fast. And I was like, wait, just stop it. Just let's reset. So I just had to reset. That's sometimes what I do outside of the spirituality of what I do, besides church, but I just kind of sit still.
I absolutely love what you just, who is it that just shared?
That was LaShonda.
LaShonda. Powerful. And I just have to add something to what you said, because this is how I'm living my life, just in terms of taking time. I used to plan to take time off when I had something planned. Now I just take time. I take time. I plan to take time off. So I don't wait until I have something scheduled. But what you just spoke to was using your instinct and intuition too. You knew that was time you needed to take for yourself. And that's what someone shared that earlier. The whole thing around networking is being still and exploring and assessing and evaluating and getting grounded. And that's how I heard you when you referred to being in that zone. That's what you did. So that was wonderful. Thank you for that.
Sweetness.
Grand Rising, peace and blessings. Valerie.
Yes.
Grace and love be upon you, sister.
Thank you.
Yes. So high vibration this morning in this wonderful moment of stretching and expanding and learning and loving. So Valerie, we cannot lead from behind. That is what I got from the Abraham teaching, is that we cannot lead from behind. So when I think about the word accountability, which is what I dropped in the chat earlier, I'm holding myself accountable, even though I do have a small, and I'm using that word intentional, small network of people. My small network of people are so strong, OMG. However, they are small and it's a good thing. So my small network of people that I use so that I can hear myself out loud. And that's what I'm learning that's helpful for me, because when I stay in my head, it's not very helpful because I be creating chaos for my own self. So when I speak it to my mentors, and then I can hear myself, and of course they're loving and capable people, and respond adequately. And what I wanted to share with the what I want to share with the community on this day is that I'm not always sure of who I am. I found my lane, but I'm not always sure of who I am. So the networking for me is showing me who I am. I ventured out the other day and went to an unfamiliar place and learned so much about me by doing that, by being vulnerable enough to do that and have people ask me questions that would benefit me to have the answer to. And so, but if I don't go out and venture out, I'll stay home with my own questions, my own answers. And so that was really, really helpful for me to go out and become vulnerable.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. What you just said reminded me of something we learned in a program that I referred to earlier, Landmark. And this is why you want to be intentional about the people that you surround yourself with, that we arise in the listening of others, right? Because sometimes we don't see ourselves for who we really are. But if we're around powerful, amazing, loving, generous, gifted, talented, grounded folk, we will show up inside of that space. So thank you so much for sharing. Okay, does Facebook have any?
Yes, we do have from Jem McBean L. For her spiritual self-care. Jem has a text group of prayer partners. We share daily uplifting messages.
It's beautiful. You know, it's just powerful for us to look at the various ways that we can be supported on the planet. So if there's anyone that's rolling solo, I really hope that, you know, as we continue this discussion, you can hear the power of connection and community and how that can really show up in managing and actually elevating our self-care, right? So thank you so much for that. Anyone else before we go to the next slide?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we can go to the next slide. We're going to wrap it up on this slide that we're going to now.
Aaliyah, take note. You wanted to see this, so here you go with your few seconds.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to the next slide.
So, you know, we just talked about some self-care strategies. And as we were talking about the self-care strategies, we also identified people that could be helpful in us managing those self-care strategies. So I just wanted to continue that conversation a bit and looking at these 5 types of support, right? So when we look at emotional support, we look at demonstrations of empathy, love, caring, and concern. And we talked about how having a circle of support makes a difference, how that's so empowering to us, right? So we really kind of talked about that, right? And what I want you to think about, and you can put in the chat, Facebook, in the comments section, how many people do you have in your circle right now who can provide you with emotional support? And it's not about the number, by the way, but it is about looking at our support. And if we have folks who can really provide some of the various different supports that we're going to talk about right now, right? So in terms of the emotional support, having loving, caring, compassionate folks that we can turn to when we're going through it. Do people feel like they have that kind of support in their lives?
Catherine says 9. She has 9 people in her network.
Oh, that's beautiful. Anybody else?
People are counting.
Counting. That's great. And again, the number is not necessarily an indicator of the level of support that you have. Although 9 is fantastic, some may have 1, some might have 2, some might have 3. So it's the level of the support that you're getting more so than the number. Now, if you're getting, I know I probably have at least 9, and I'm blessed to be able to say that I can turn to at least 9 people for emotional support, because I'm the kind of person that I will pull, you know, my colleague, you know, I have a loving manager. So there are people that might be your support. They don't necessarily have to be close friends or family, but they could just people that you connect with, who you can turn to. I think sometimes we might minimize the amount of support that we really have because we may be reluctant to make requests. So that's another thing. So just wanted to share that.
LaShonda says she has a few people, very small, on purpose.
Okay, that's fine too. Some of us are very intentional about our circles and we like to keep it close, and I get that.
And Gina says Jem McBean has 7 people, and Teresa says 4 tribes.
4 tribes says a lot, right? Because that really speaks to groups, which is something for folks to think about. How aligned are you with communities of support? Like, this is a wonderful community of support. Woo. So we'll all count that as 1. And others that you might be engaged in. So that's another way to get some really great support. So that's wonderful. And Renee, and you know, Renee shared that she doesn't have enough people. Now, I know Renee. And I'll say this. It's always an opportunity for us to explore and expand our network, particularly if there are areas where we don't think we have enough, we don't feel like we have enough. And it's also important for us to actually stop and ask ourselves, are there more people? Am I reluctant to ask for support? Might I have more than I think, but I kind of rely on a certain number of people because I've been used to just reaching out to these folks. So I just want to put that out there. I know that other people wanted to share.
Yeah, Teresa?
Valerie, Woo, y'all is my tribe. I have to say it
Yes.
out loud. Woo is one of my tribes.
Right. Me too.
I am powerful, and working with this team of Woo members have changed my life, and I had to get out loud and say that. But getting back to that statement that you said is that unless I reach out to my tribe, then I can't get the help. And there's been times when I have sat in this home suffering and didn't reach out. It was because of my choice, not because the help was not available. So I want you, if you don't have a tribe, who is a tribe that you can gather to my family?
Yep.
And I'm complete.
Thank you. Invitation to join. And I see what there were a couple of comments in the chat.
Yes, Abimbola, come share your connection to the East Family Sisterhood, if you can. Abimbola. Okay, maybe she's not available.
Okay.
I would love to hear her voice. Okay, so Catherine says there's no.
I'm available.
Oh, great.
I just have to cover up. Trying to get off of mute.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to start my video. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Okay, so I belong to the East family, 52 years, and we started a sisterhood. Like in some instances, people refer to sororities, fraternities, but we have East Sisterhood. And so even though the building is no longer in existence, we have stayed connected. And so we do just a lot of things together. We network, we talk, we check on each other, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful type of support system. And so when you said that, I immediately thought about my East family. And I'm traveling now on my way back home. I came up north for the festival that we started 51 years ago in Brooklyn. And I had an opportunity to see so many of my East Sister friends. And that was my spiritual recharge. I'm going back to Georgia, but just the hugs, the embrace, the talking, it's just, there's no words. There's no words to the love and support that I have. And while I'm traveling, everybody is checking on me, make sure that I'm doing all right throughout my, my 16, 18-hour sojourn back home. So yes, my East Sisterhood, we're there for each other. So, and I'm complete. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Say what the East is and how it's connected to the festival. What the festival is in like 30 seconds.
Sorry?
Can you explain a little bit about the East, what the East is, and this festival that you speak of?
Oh, okay. So the East was a cultural and educational center for people of African descent. And it came into existence in 1969 in Brooklyn, New York at 10 Claver Place. And so it had a school, Uhuru Sasa. And so what happens is the first year of the school, they wanted to do a fundraiser, and they had this festival outside 10 Claver Place in Brooklyn between Putnam and Fulton Street. And that festival, that fundraiser evolved into the African Street Festival, what we called it the African Street Carnival, then the African Street Festival. It moved from 2 blocks on Claver Place to Boys and Girls High. And then they kicked us out of Boys and Girls High. And now we're downtown at Commodore Barry Park, down there by the cross from the Navy Yard. It's now called the International African Arts Festival. And this is the 51st year. So I was at the first one and I was at the 51st. I missed a couple of years in between, but like I said, this is the time where we all come together from all different states. And like I said, the sisters, we reunite with the brothers and sisters, and it's just about love and energy and support. And what I did this time, I walked around with a pad, a form, and I took names and addresses and emails, and people that I don't see, I will remain in touch with them.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So thank you. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
History.
Exactly.
Right up in here. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That is amazing. 50 years. I remember it was at Boys and Girls High back in the day. I didn't know that was the evolution. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you. Boy. All right. So support, right? So we're really listening to how this emotional support really feeds us. It's life affirming, right? And then there's informational support. These are folks you might ask assistance to assist you with any knowledge, information, and skills. There may be people in your circle that you turn to. You're having a tech issue. You want to understand a new system. These are the folks who can guide you through that process. For those of us who may not be as tech savvy, just learning about different resources and information. Folks that we have, there are people in our circles that might be very resourceful. People, people who are connectors. I happen to be a connector. I'm a power networker. So I am that kind of person that is available to provide people with support and resources, information, and skills. So I know we're going quickly, but I wouldn't mind if people indicated in the chat how many people you have in your circle who provide you with that type of informational support. Do people have folks that can guide them when needed? I don't know, we're getting anything from Facebook?
Valencia says 3 to 4.
Okay. The other thing is to take note of some of these types of support where you may not have as many, right? Maybe an opportunity for you to think about who you can connect with to provide you with that kind of support. Right, I see what LaShonda said. Being a coach and having a coach, important. I know I have a coach. I'm a empowerment coach. I got a business coach. Makes a difference.
On Facebook, D.Y. Forrester did mention being a member of Be the Tree, which is a rites of passage for women group, which is also a network and support group. And Nija Wilson just shared, we were talking history with Mama Abimbola, that she did go to the Uhuru Sasa school, from the East organization when she was like 3 or 4.
Oh boy, that's great. Thank you. All right. So we can go back to the slides.
Mike, I'll jump in and say my go-to is Chantel.
For
tech stuff.
Okay, great.
Well, and yeah, I have a couple of outside.
Okay. So there's instrumental support, and this is where you get assistance in helping getting people to help you do things or get things done, especially that are stressful or unpleasant tasks, things that you really, really don't want to do or can't do. You're reaching out to people for that kind of support. That kind of I know one of the things, this could be instrumental or informational, but a stressful task for some, I don't know if anyone's putting, oh, I know you put, okay, cheaper. Instrumental, I know this could be instrumental or informational. I know a lot of people dealing with elder care issues, right? So it's a stressful thing, having other people to support you, provide you with support, not just with the resources, but also the emotional support that is needed when dealing with, those kinds of things. Anyone else have anything to say about the instrumental support? Someone that you can go to that can help you with dealing with stressful or challenging things?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Teresa.
As a disability advocate, it's a lot of stuff out here, but you have to call. Like in New York, we have 311, and it's a lot of services that you're able to get help that do have a lot of support systems, like for like people need respite care. Like say if you're taking care of what they used to have it, if you take care of a parent, you might can get someone to come assist you to help you in the home. So you just have to ask. A lot of times people don't know what's available. I call myself the knowledge broker, so that's why I say about these things. I've been able to find and locate things for people. I'm actually created a business, starting to do it now because I've been doing it for years and years and years. But and so it's so much information out here for people to get, but you just have to ask. And it's like, especially like when it comes to like seniors and disabled kind of stuff, or just people who just having their needs. It's a lot of stuff out here, and it's money to get you help. There's so much stuff out here, but people don't know because it's not being told to them.
Yeah,
Because a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's what I want to say. I'm complete.
All right, Teresa, thank you so much. I will be in touch with you. See, this is what happens when you're talking and sharing, because I have a relative who has an intellectual disability, and I was just saying to my sister, I need to reach out to people who have expertise in that area. Teresa, I'll be in touch with you because I want to get your support with something that I'm dealing with in my family. So thank you so much. Okay, all right.
So maybe my therapist, says I didn't know when I really needed it. LaShonda says I have 2 kids who are ID. What is that?
Intellectual disability, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Catherine Sweetness says, I'm learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. My asset is self.
Yes, very good. Thank you. I may be in touch with you too, LaShonda. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
We have a couple from Facebook.
Okay.
D.Y. Forrester is acknowledging head coach Sahu Speak Kokai for personal touch, music, and laughter, and coach Shauna Mejia for movement and mastery.
Very nice. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so, it sounds like quite a few of us have some really great support in our lives. I'm going to move on to spiritual. We talked about this earlier, the degree to which a person experiences a connection to a higher power, God, or other transcendent forces. And, we talked about that earlier in terms of our spiritual self-care. So just wanted to ask, and you can put it in the chat because I'm going to move kind of quickly because I want to wrap up before 8:30. I'm going to cover a couple of things. How many people are, good with the type of spiritual people in their lives that can provide spiritual support? Is anyone, or I should ask, does anyone feel they're lacking in that area? Like they want to expand their network of individuals that can provide spiritual support?
Catherine says touch ministry.
And while they're thinking, Jem McBean also shared that she has 3 female friends, an apostle, an archbishop, and an elder who are her first go-to for spiritual support.
Woo-wee!
That's some powerful support.
Wow, I'm telling you, that's amazing. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That, you can tell when you're covered just like covered by that kind of energy, which is really powerful. I mentioned earlier, one of my friends, Mrs. Haywood, she definitely is someone that provides you with spiritual support for sure. Very faith, God-fearing woman, and she's funny too. She's a great sense of humor. No, I don't need any spiritual. Yeah, so it may not be a need. It may not be a need at this time. And it's always just something to explore, to be open to the thought that that might be something at some point that folks might want to investigate and tap into. All right. Any other comments?
Yes, Catherine is telling the story because she just gave me spiritual support the other day on the phone, and we gave each other spiritual support. So spirit, how we might think spiritual is spirit, but Catherine was just giving me some good spiritual support on the phone. She called and checked on me. That was spiritual support, Miss Catherine. I just want you to know that, baby girl.
Teresa, what you just said is so powerful, because spiritual support at its foundation for me is any single thing that uplifts me.
Yes.
Any kind of thing that has me feeling better about myself or the world, or my circumstance or my situation is spiritual support. So
That's right.
It's important for us to, and so powerful that you said that to Catherine, to open our perspectives and perceptions around some of these terms. So that was great. That was great. I'm glad you said that. Okay, so let's go back. It's 8:27. Okay, so I'm gonna go quickly on the last type of support, because I really want to. So then there's companion support, right? Refers to feeling connected to people whose company you enjoy being with. We've been talking about this throughout this conversation, the idea of connecting with like-minded people, people who feed us, people who support us, who love us, who care for us, who are there to guide us. And some of these categories, they overlap, right? So it's interesting. So to think about, who do we have in our lives? And for many people that talked about your tribe or your small group and network, your companion refers to your companion network. So I think we kind of covered this a bit, unless someone has something on their heart they want to share, because then I'll just move to wrap up.
If possible, I have something that I have something I want to put out.
Sure.
And I don't know if you have the answer, or maybe the network will be able to figure something out. I've noticed that in this day and age, especially for the younger people in my life, it is difficult for them to create networks and maintain them, because their world is more virtual and superficial with the social media and things like that. And so what some people have shared with me, a couple of young people, is that if you're not willing to actively participate in that whole social media vibe and the whole Instagram life, where you do this for likes and you do that for pictures and things, that it's hard for them to create a network. It's very difficult to make connections to people, real true connections. And some of my younger sisters have shared that with me, that they've had people in their lives for 15, 20 years that really don't know them. They just go together to places to take pictures, and you need a vacation buddy and you need a hangout buddy, but they don't have that intimate connection. And when they started doing inner work, as part of Be the Tree and coming on the Woo and things, they found that they couldn't, those people didn't really share, what was inside of them. They didn't, when they would put things out to the groups that they were with, it would kind of just sit there like, oh, wow, you really shouldn't have talked about that, whereas they're looking for a network, to actually connect with people and find real support in life. They're finding that it's not really real. And I mean, that's just something I don't know if I'm sure there's millennials on here today. And I'm sure they can share something, to that effect.
Okay, because it sounded like you had two situations. One that you were focusing on the millennials who don't necessarily have the opportunity to network culturally speaking, with video games and social media. But then I also heard you reference to women, a group of women who had not really been in a circle where intimacy was shared. And folks will say, we know you, but do they really know you? So those are I heard two different situations. I don't know that we'll have a chance to address the millennial situation. But I do know with the other group, sounds like finding your tribe is where it's at. If you're down to really share and be connected on a very soul level, then that really sounds like folks who would be seeking a community such as this, and Be the Tree and others, where people are willing to be vulnerable. So that's our one of my missions. I mean, seekers. If you're a seeker, right? The ongoing process is seeking folks and situations that are going to feed you and ground you and support you. So continuing to be intentional about that, I would say. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Oh, so just to be clear, because I didn't mish the two together. The younger women, the women that were saying these things about knowing people for many years were also millennials.
Got
in
it.
the group.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
and they
it.
found the same type of thing,
Yeah, I got it. And it's seeking. I think it's there, right? And it's our willingness to be vulnerable and to be intentional about continuing to seek those kinds of opportunities to connect. Yeah.
Ashe, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we're going to move on because we're past the hour and 30 minutes.
And so, Valerie, did you just say that if you have the time to extend, we are open to that?
Okay, I'm here. Whoever can stay, we're almost finished. I think we're about maybe 5 to 10 minutes before we complete, because I just wanted to wrap up this segment with the next slide that really talks about action, thinking about everything that we've discussed. And I know there may be a comment that folks may have before I move to that, but to think about everything that we discussed, and is there just one action that you can take to help you elevate your commitment to your self-care? We can talk a little bit about that. Is there comments before we move to that?
Yes. So everyone keep action in the back of your head while I read Amelia's comment, and then I'll put the slide up.
Okay.
Amelia says, my spiritual community, heart and soul center of light gives me foundation of spiritual support. I think of Wu as spiritual support. Anytime I have a conversation with a friend that allows my heart space to open is a spiritual support for me.
Yeah, I love it. That's beautiful.
Oh, and Facebook, D.Y. Forrester says, ungoodness is giving me love and light this summer, rejuvenation for sure.
I'm sorry, I was supposed to say sun. I was trying to type it from the chat from her. The sun goodness.
Sun goodness. Okay, not ungoodness, but sun goodness.
Yeah, sun goodness. And then we also had a few extra. I'll move quickly. Jim McBean L shared that prayer, particularly affirmative prayer, is very powerful. D.Y. Forrester shared that my husband and cousin are showering me with care, love, and support as I recuperate after a recent surgery. I'm grateful.
That's beautiful.
And she shares that gratitude is a prayer in and of itself.
It sure is. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, this Facebook chat today is just really on fire.
Oh, I gotta write that one down. Gratitude is a prayer in and of itself.
Yes.
I felt that. Wonderful. I love that. All right.
Teresa's hand is up.
What I want to say to Miss Gina is that a lot of times when young people are reaching out to you, it's like a point of, like they say, like, hey, I need you. And sometimes, even for myself, it's like I talk with my grandchild and like all they do is do YouTube and different stuff like that. So what I've been doing is just like, well, like I've been suggesting unless you and I create a YouTube page, and once you create a YouTube page, something of substance that, because it's like, it is true. It's like all they do is express themselves on YouTube. Like I had the opportunity to sit outside with some kids, and they would make a lot of noise, and I started to go upstairs, but they needed a grandmother that day, and I sat outside and was their grandma. So it's like, just whatever opportunity shows up in our life. I know we're busy doing different things, but our young people and our little kids, they need us right now, because some of the parents are not giving them what they need, and we have the ability to give it to them. Even if it's just, telling them, I think you're beautiful or whatever. Just take that time and just say, hey, just 5-10 minutes, whatever. It makes a big difference in life, because they did not want me to leave. They kept on getting in front of my wheelchair. Like, I don't want you to leave, grandma. I need this grandma. And I just stayed out there with them and was their grandmother and talking with them and stuff like that. But I felt so good when I came inside the house, because I got companionship from the kids, and they were happy, and so because I took the time, to sit there. Yes, I was busy, I had stuff to do, but I was like, nah, Teresa, you need out here. Grandma Tisa's need outside today. So sit yourself outside and be Grandma Tisa today. And that's what I did. And I have to get back out there and do that again, and I'm complete.
Girl,
One of my actions I'm going to take is going back outside and sitting with the kids. That's what I'm going to do.
you brought tears to my eyes. You brought tears. God bless you, honey, because, the temptation to run or resist is there for me at times, and to actually listen for what's needed is where it's at. God bless you. All right. All right, so let's we can go back to the slides, and I know I hope people are thinking about actions. I heard your action, Teresa. You're going to go back out and be grandma. I hear that, and I know that they will love to see you. Those kids will love to see you. So any actions that folks have, you can either put it in the chat, or if you want to share quickly as we wrap up this day. I hope that there's something or many things that you could take away and walk away with to take action. Yeah, anyone else want to share? I know my commitment is drinking more water. That's what I've been doing.
And peace and blessings. Can I share that don't sweat the small things is something that I'm practicing when life tends to come and show up in a way that I think that is overwhelming as far as taking care of ourselves. And that's what I'm finding. I have to remind myself. One of the things that I say to myself is be anxious for nothing. Like when I find myself getting ready to, unravel, no, be anxious for nothing, and don't sweat the small things. The central air stopped working where I live, and it's very, very hot. And so, of course, during the day, you could go somewhere where there's air conditioning, but you must come home at night to sleep. So I had to take a look at that, and then I found out a little bit of who I am in regards to when something happens. What do I do? What muscle do I use? Do I panic, or do I go into my toolbox? And do I need to reach outside of myself? And I did not. I went and purchased a fan that I could afford, which is like, it's really laughing at me right now because it's not doing anything. And so I went and got some ice from the freezer, which I have plenty of ice, and I put that in front of the fan in my bedroom. And so I'm saying that to say is that when things appear to be a lot, I stop and remind myself of certain things, that it's not that deep. This too shall pass. I paid money to go to a sauna, so now I have it free in my bedroom. So, I'm just, for me, making a little light of a situation, opposed to staying inside my head and immediately panicking and thinking I don't have enough. There is lack. And the truth in my life right now that there is no lack. There is no lack. I have what I need. And I press forward from there. So my commitment to myself right now in the area in my life is finances, something that I never had to be accountable for, but I do now because I'm single widow. And so I'm learning to get better with that. Don't let fear stop me from growing in that area, accepted help, and even acknowledging and saying to other people, that this is an area that is what it is, not pretending that it's something that it's not. Another philosophy of mine is that I have to confront it in order to conquer it. And so letting people know, areas that I'm not so strong in and I need help in. And I did that with Cody the other day. So that was really helpful. So I want to leave that with the community, is that don't sweat the small stuff. And it's not as deep as it looks in that moment. So with that, I'm going to stop.
Well, thank you so much, because I heard mindset of abundance, I heard reframing, I heard requesting support, and and really keeping it being clear about how big the situation is, because most things are manageable. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for that powerful share. All right. Well, yes.
Actions, Valerie. Would you like to hear them?
Yes.
Okay. Laura says she's going for a long walk. And LaShonda says her action is to be intentional on her love with her husband and kids, as well as herself.
Beautiful.
Adam, he's saying let's stretch everyone. I'm imagining that means stretch with me, because he's going to be the one that's going to be stretching and everyone can join him. Inez says to make a list of what I'm out of integrity with and get back into integrity. Also take a morning walk after this call.
Nice.
And, Teresa's grateful for this session and the Wu family. Valencia says, my 12-year-old daughter is diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and we started black seed oil daily and intermittent fasting. I'm vegan, and she's slowly transitioning back.
Very nice.
And LaShonda says she needed this to start her week off. Lovely.
Great.
What else is here? Roseanne says, I'm going to stop being reluctant to ask for what I want and need.
All right, Rose.
And from Facebook, Jem McBean L says, I will reach out to my 88-year-old friend who is sick to check on her.
Good. Nice. All right. Well, I want to just thank everybody. We're wrapping up. I want to, just thank everybody for your contribution, support, engagement. This has been a really wonderful time for me. So yeah, this has been great. So thank you so much. And I want to get to the slide because I think I have one last. So folks are taking action, which is key, right? So I have a special offer for those who are still present. The first person to email me will receive a complimentary copy of my book, Power Networking from the Inside Out, Where Your Career and Your Well-Being Meet. My email address is valjlyons@gmail.com. valjlyons@gmail.com. The first person to email me, I'll send you a complimentary copy of my book. And in your email, what I'd like you to indicate is, what are you declaring for your life? What are you declaring for your life? When you email me, put that in the email and I will give you a copy of my book. Happy to do that. You want to go to the next slide?
Sorry, I was typing your question that they should put in the chat.
Oh yeah, okay. What are you declaring for your life? And I'll respond. And you can contact me. I'm on Facebook at my Facebook. If you look up Valerie Lyons, you'll find me, but it's valerie.lyons.56. I'm on Instagram at Val J Lyons. I have a Linktree a page that you can go to, and that's Linktree, L-I-N-K tree. Well, you can see / Valerie Lyons. Again, my email address is valjlyons@gmail.com. And I also have a website. If you want to check out my website, it's www.valeriejlyonsenterprises.com. And I'm once again want to say how grateful I am to have had the opportunity to be with you this morning. And I hope that folks walked away feeling supported, loved, and resourced up, and that your self-care can be elevated. That's my desire for you.
Okay, I put the text in the chat about 5-10 minutes ago, so you all can scroll up if you want to see it.
Okay, and you have an opportunity to provide a love offering or donation via Zelle or Quick Pay at Soul Leadership Development at Gmail, or Cash App at Spirit of a Woman, using the code 626VL. This is for the administrative support to keep this program going powerfully. So if you so desire, love offerings are appreciated.
Thank you. And other ways that you can do love offerings is by month. We have 4 options that you can choose from: $25 a month, $50 a month, $75 a month, $100 a month. This is your set it and forget it links. So these links have been dropped in the thread. You'll, like I said, scroll up, find it if this is what you choose to do. And when you, your donation will be divided up by day and given to the facilitators for that month.
So join us on Monday, July 11th. Seed planting, everything is inherently meaningful. This will be facilitated by Quasi Hurd. And then on July 12th, Crystal Clear Part 3, Crystals as a Tool of Transformation. And this is going to be facilitated by Cheryl Glenn and Brandon Smith. We hope you can join us then.
Thank you, thank you. So new members, I've seen some new names. I want you to shout it out inside of Zoom here where you are and say, I'm new, it's my first day. Even if you have been out on Facebook all the previous days, but today's your first day in Zoom, say, I'm new, because we want our Zoom members to give you a hug. And if you're new out there on Facebook, say that out in Facebook so that the Facebook members can give you a hug and a welcome. And do come back. So we are here 5 days a week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 8:30, and Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 7:30. And I'll put an ish on both of those times, obviously, because we can do that. And always inside of Zoom and streaming live on Facebook. And if you want to have a text alert to wake you up in the morning, this alert will tell you to get up into Zoom. The Zoom link will be attached. You can do this right now. Open up your phone to a blank text. Type in 74121 in the to section or telephone number section. And in the comment section, just type Nation and press send. You will be on an automated text alert system. We have swag. And you can go to bit.ly/WooSwag to get your merch. We have a thermos, a mug, a laptop sleeve, a bag, journal, mask, sweatshirt, t-shirts, choice of colors and sizes. So be sure to check it out today, bit.ly/WooSwag. bit.ly/WooSwag. And stay in touch. You want to register every week so that you can get the email telling you who's in the lineup for the week. And maybe there's a facilitator that has shared a special offer. So you want to be a part of that. bit.ly/WooSwag. Wake Up Movement. And we have 2 Facebook pages. One is private, one is public. The private page, you would need to request admittance, and then one of us will let you in. bit.ly/Woo Community is where you would go. The public page, anybody can go to. When you go there, click like, and that's bit.ly/Woo Nation. We're on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual, and we're on YouTube, bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. And we have an email, info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. Before I move on, I want to say thank you to Gina, who heard my request in our WhatsApp thread. Gina works behind the scenes, and she stepped up to support the Facebook because there's only me today, and she's been very, very, very helpful. Not even trained in what to do, she jumped in, and these are the things that when I say, hey, we're available. No, this is not Thursday, but I'm going to say this today. On what is today? Tuesday. Today's not Tuesday, it's Sunday. That these are the little things that we look for the community to be able to do. So you don't have to, like, you're here watching Woo anyway, there's something for you to do in the moment. So if you see that, feel that, please be open to learning what else there is. So with that, I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to ask you all to unmute yourselves and give Valerie a wonderful love shower for this session.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
That
Valerie.
was
That was great.
wonderful.
Self-care
I was
is
very
really, really
excited to hear
important.
about it.
Thank you,
Great.
Miss
Amazing
Valerie.
Zoom. Thank you so much.
Was
Reminded of the
so
script that's
amazing,
always present
amazing,
for us.
amazing, amazing,
Good morning,
amazing,
good morning, Woo.
amazing,
So have a blessed day, everyone, and let's move forward.
amazing.
Oh, you're amazing,
Love
beautiful
you.
pieces. Have an
Thank you,
God bless you.
Gina and
Amazing Zoom.
Kenyofu.
Great
Great
job.
job,
Thank
great
you.
job, great job, great job.
Self-care is
You did
everything.
an excellent job.
Without self-care,
Wonderful.
we have nothing.
Thank you. Thank you for all the love. Thank you.
Yes, amen.
Hey, Miss
God
Good
Laura.
night,
bless.
everyone. This was so lovely. I missed y'all. Mwah.
Have a great day.
Yes, it was so powerful. Hey,
Share it.
Miss Laura, haven't seen you in a while. Hey, beautiful. Hey, Adam and everyone else. I love
Hey, Teresa.
y'all.
Take
Hey, Miss Inez, how
Likewise.
you doing,
Love
baby?
you back.
I ain't seen you in a long time. Yes, ma'am. We try to teach each other.
All right.
All right. Have
I
a
love
great
y'all.
day,
Love y'all,
everybody.
family. It was amazing today.
Really
She
appreciate
was
you.
beautiful.
Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.
Fabulous.
Come back again, Miss Valley. Do a part 2. Thank you, please.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
So much.
Well, any subject you want to bring, we love it. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Love y'all. Peace and blessings, family.
Bye now.